fuck was that?
Welcome to What the Fuck Did I Dream Last Night? I'm Jaynee.
I'm Jess. Hello.
Hi. I just almost started talking about my dream introducing anything because Hayne was like, it's okay. Dream Jaynee's coming out, get it? So she just called me a bitch. And yeah, I got all sidetracked.
I'm just warning everybody. It is Harley Bike Week in Myrtle Beach right now. So if you just heard a loud rumbling in the background,
I didn't hear it actually.
that is a motorcycle. I
That
apologize.
sounds fun. Maybe we don't have our Harley anymore though. Babies.
No.
We'll have a Harley again.
Yeah, they got rid of their Harley. And I am a Harley by name, but I do not drive or ride a Harley. And I get that question a lot. So, if any of you are wondering, no.
Upstairs, like in our closet, I was like going through some jackets and stuff and getting rid of, and like our leather jackets are up there. I'm like, oh, I'm not getting rid of them. But
Yeah,
it was just
you
like,
will be like the people who are down here in Myrtle Beach right now, like retired and living their best lives.
sure will
On Harley Week.
at my slutty 60. I don't know. It's really hard to come up with names and like I get like dirty 30, filthy 40. Like I feel like they have to be like gross and
yeah, like vulgar.
That's it, vulgar, not gross. 50.
Nifty 50.
That's very not vulgar. I went from dirty to filthy to slutty. Nifty!
That's a typical me. That'd be my 50. You better make me a banner when we're 50 that says Nifty 50.
One time, Hayne made me a Sweet 16 banner for my locker when I turned 15 or 17. I wasn't turning 16, and she made this whole like happy sweet 16, Jaynee, and I'm like, I'm 17.
Yeah, like in high school, you decorate each other's lockers, you know, for like birthdays and stuff. But the worst part of it is I'm a month older than Jaynee. So I like turned 17 the month prior to that. And I couldn't remember that she was the same age as me, I guess.
Nope.
Whoops. Whoopsie daisy.
Whoops. Man, that just triggered something else. Triggered. Had nothing to. I was writing something down. Okay, I'm really like digging my like setup here today. I got one of those like what are these called? Like
good story.
It's like a desk for your bed that like goes over your legs.
Oh.
So, and I'm like, why don't I ever record on this?
So it does look like a pretty sweet setup right now.
I'm very cozy.
I feel like you should be on video right now recording. Like you look like could be on video recording and doing this.
But you won't.
Oh God, no. I'm not, God. Sorry, I don't know how to use my hands and words and mouth.
She gets uncomfortable and we weren't even like putting it anywhere. I was just testing it.
I'll get there eventually. I don't know why. I'm not like shy in that regard. I used to do public speaking competitions for fun. Like I wrote speeches. I mean, it was part of like school, but like it was like a club, you know, like I chose to do that type thing.
Oh, I know what I was going to bring up. So I'm going to record an episode with my sister down the road here because we got shit to talk about like sleep and stuff. So I was away this weekend again. I went to DC. My sister, it's like we all just fell asleep. She fell asleep probably about 9 o'clock. Molly's asleep finally. And I'm like, okay. So I dozed off. And like, you know, when you first fall asleep and you're in that good, deep sleep? Like, someone's like violently shaking me while I'm sleeping. And I literally thought Molly crawled out of her pack and play onto the hotel bed, which she couldn't even crawl up on because they were too high for her. Like, I thought like it was Molly. Well, no, here, it's my sister shaking me awake. And I like look at her and she goes, "Oh, sorry," and takes a step back. It's like, "I just want to talk to you about a car." And I just look at her. I go, "What?" And then she goes, "Never mind, never mind." And then she goes into the bathroom. And I'm like, so I look at the clock and it's 10 o'clock. I'm like, damn, this is going to be a long night because now I'm wide awake. She comes back out and she goes, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I was like, still processing what just happened to me. And she goes to bed. And then, so the next morning, finally, well, at like 6 a.m., because my daughter woke up, Everest up at like 3:30 in the morning, but that's another point. I was like, "Carly, do you remember waking me up last night?" I was like, "You must have been dreaming about," now she works in like the car industry. I was like, "You must have been dreaming about work because you woke me up and then you were like standing over me and told me you want to tell me something about a car." And she's like, "Jaynee, I do not remember this at all." Like she has no
God, that is
recollection of it.
wild to me. When I hear these stories, I just think like, do I do this?
So she was really, really freaked out. And she was like, "Okay, so I was drinking wine last night," and she was feeling like really good. It was kind of one of those, she had like 2 glasses when I got back to the hotel, and they kind of went straight to her head. But I've seen her, like, it wasn't like she was like blackout drunk, like nothing
Right,
like crazy. And she's
right.
like, "Jaynee, I don't remember doing that at all." Like it freaked her out.
That's funny.
But it reminded me of like, do you ever see those like memes everywhere? It's like, "I was just trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty." Like that's what I felt like she was doing to me. Like I just asked something about your car, and I'm like, I was sleeping. I was sleeping.
Well, I want to know like how often this happens, and now I want to start videoing myself or something in my sleep, but I'm like
So
afraid what that would show me.
exactly. So the next day, like that next day, she was FaceTiming her husband. She's like, "Listen, I slept walk last night." And I was telling Mike about it. He goes, "No, you didn't." He goes, "I've never seen you do that." And I'm like, "Mike, I wonder if she has done it though." Um, and I wonder if it's like a certain wine maybe she drinks that like triggers, because you know how like certain people like it triggers by different things. Because
Mhm.
the one day like she was drinking, but like just because you drink something doesn't mean you're like hammered. Like I feel like I always have to make that clear.
Mhm.
And she like woke up in Jacob's bed the one day. So like, did she sleepwalk that night over there? Like, you know what
That's
I mean?
funny.
Like,
Yeah.
so I was like, I thought I was still safe from having people stand over my bed until my children are not in cribs anymore. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't like punch her or something. Like that should scare me. I didn't just like reach up and like slap her face or something.
Yeah, sometimes I get really like um if I'm in that state of sleep and somebody tries to wake me up, like I get really pissy. My husband will attest to that, but I don't think I've ever slept walk. Um, but yeah, I want to know like how common this is because I was, we have maybe a new listener. I don't know, Tristan, if you're listening to this, but our wonderful local cable guy who helped my mom and I get her set up with moving here. But I was wearing our shirt, and he's like, what is your shirt about? Like, WTF did I dream last night? He's like, I can't help you with that. If that's why you're here, I can't help you with that. It really threw me off. It was like very smooth. And I was like, oh, that's a podcast I do with my friend. And so he's like, oh, no way. Like, I'm looking for a new podcast. So I told him what it's about. And he sent these videos to us, as you know. And he's like, oh, yeah, I talk in my sleep sometimes. My girlfriend has a few great videos of me. I was talking about piranhas one time, talking about magazines, and we did listen to them. They are hilarious.
Yeah, I want to
And
double check
random
with
as
him.
hell.
I meant to double check with him. I still have to double check with him that if we can use them on here because I want to play them because I want like I love shit like that. But
Oh, man. And
like
it worked out, like, because that's what Carly did too, but,
yeah, but like what's crazy is like how many like who knows what the hell I actually do in my sleep when like my husband he says he's a light sleeper, but I swear he's a deep sleeper.
Cam's a really deep sleeper.
Oh yeah, you could do anything. Yeah,
I
he
could
sleeps
probably
deep.
take the car for, take the car for a spin and come back, and yeah.
Um, yeah, so I'm curious, like, I think it's crazy how many people are out there that probably do crazy things while they're sleeping and have no idea they're doing it.
Yeah, and we've talked about how medicines can, like trigger stuff like this, like Ambien, and we talked about I think Chantix or something once, but
Yeah.
you know, so like we said, different things can trigger. I'm sure stress is one, alcohol. Cam definitely will walk in his sleep if he's had some alcohol, but and talk in his sleep.
I'll definitely I think I talk in my sleep after I've been drinking. I've definitely like woke myself up talking in my sleep.
I
But
wonder if the change in environment triggered it for Carly.
I have no
And
idea.
for your sister, because like when you're in a hotel, you're like confused and don't know where you're at. But
I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if anybody else does this, let us know. I'm fascinated
Yeah, or
now.
if you have like a one-time experience like that one that you want to share with us, let me know that one too. Like just one time like this random shit happened like that.
And if you remembered it or not.
Yes.
Man, what do you have any sleepwalking, talking dreams?
No, but before I jump into my dream, I mentioned it last week. I want to remind you guys of our giveaway before I jump into my dream that we're doing until the end of May. The winner will be announced on June 1st. It's really easy to enter. If you are a Patreon, you're automatically entered. If you send us a dream this month, you are entered. And if you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, screenshot it and email us, you're entered. So 3 easy ways to be entered. And then the winner will be announced on June 1st. And we're going to send you something from our new merch that's coming out. And I have 2 of the samples that I'm getting should be here on Wednesday. And I will share those as they come in. So I want to check it out and see first what like I want to send somebody something nice and not like if it like came out like shitty, like I want to check until I have it like picked what I'm sending you y'all yet.
Y'all. Sweet.
Are you good? You were standing. You were fine.
Yeah, my left foot was going numb. It's like I was sitting on,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have anything? You good?
Good.
All right. So, I feel like I have a little bit of a movie-esque dream, I would say.
Yes, these ones are my favorite.
It's not as like movie like my action-packed one, but I feel like this could be made into like a long movie or like a story or something, like with some more details added to it, like if you want to add shit to it. Recently I was watching Ginny and Georgia on Netflix. I actually watched it twice already. Really enjoyed it. You guys should watch it if you haven't, if you need something to binge. And it's a nice, easy one. Like, I watch that one while putting away, like, my laundry and stuff like that. Like, you don't have to be, like, focused 100% on it. Like, I need shows like that I don't have to, like, concentrate all the time.
Yeah.
So that one is, like, it's based on a lot of high school things. And you know my brain loves a good high school dream. So here we go. So in this dream, I'm a senior, and I just moved to a new school for my senior year. And I was pretty bummed about it, but like overall, like I was in good spirits in my dream. So at the beginning of the dream, I was in like downtown, and I want to say it's like Pittsburgh because there's like a lot of water, like so like all the rivers down there. So I feel like it's Pittsburgh. Plus, that's like the one city that I go to all the time.
Pittsburgh is known as the city of bridges for those who've never been there, because there's just a lot of 3 rivers meet, and you got to navigate around a lot of water and rivers.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the bridges part next, so I feel like it's definitely Pittsburgh.
Yes.
So I was trying to go to like a sandcastle, which sandcastle is a water park in Pittsburgh, to meet up with some people. But I passed the exit that I had to get off to go there because I was like, shit, like I don't have my money ready. And I could see the exit in my dream, like you just literally just make a left and turn right into the park, and like guys are waiting there and they take your money. Like there's no like there's nowhere for you to wait. Like you just got to be ready. So I go past the exit and I went straight and I got kind of lost, and there was like all this water dripping down from the bridges. That they were bridges that like cars drove on, but I feel like they also in my dream were like I was driving under the water slides. So like you know how like they're always like dripping. So then I like ended up on this hike through like the back roads and waters of Pittsburgh again, I believe. Not actual Pittsburgh, but you know. So I see these canoes that like keep dropping into the water, and it kind of reminded me. It was like they were on like a wheel. Like, do you know like those boats that have that like wheel thing in the back that make them go? I don't know what that's called.
I think they're like river boats.
Yes. So it was kind of like that wheel structure, but it had canoes. And it was like a standalone thing. And like the canoes would come up underwater, go around, and then like drop down and be released. So like you just like grab a fucking canoe, I guess. So it was weird, but very normal in my dream. I was like, oh shit, all right, look, this is perfect.
It kind of reminds me of the water. Is it a water slide dream you had? No, or like the ski lift where you had to. I said there's a slide or a ski lift, and it was going really, really fast.
Yes. But these like just like it came out and just like dropped off, like, and then another one. It's like they were like picking up the canoes like underwater to like bring above water. I don't know. So like it looks like I'm like behind the scenes of this water park now, and like I'm not like in it, but I'm like behind it. Like this is like an old thing they used to have, but they don't really run it anymore. And it's like I could see people in like lines over there, but I'm over here. And I see a group of people I know, and they like jump in and grab one of these canoes with me. So we all get in like this canoe, and like separate canoes or kayaks. I feel like it was like a mix of them both. And we paddled them, and then we finally got to like the sidewalk of the park. Then we just fast forward to a whole nother scene. And I'm at my new school. And I'm falling. Yeah, just, I don't know. We water parked, and then I was like, okay, time for school. So, and I'm following this boy around, and I'm like, hey, I have to tell you something. And the boy who this is someone we went to school with. Like, at first, that's who it was, and then I feel like it wasn't him anymore. But he recently came into the pizza shop and picked up food, so I saw him, and of course, my brain's like, dream.
Oh, yeah.
So I like was following him, and I was like, look, I have to tell you something. And I followed him around this corner, and we were standing in front of like lockers, but it also felt like we were outside too somehow. And I was like, look, I know this may sound weird, and it really isn't a great timing for it, I know. And then we got interrupted by people that were stopping to say like hi to him. And then I just continued. I'm just like, look, like I'm kind of into you. And he just kind of like smiled. Like, are you getting embarrassed? A little bit. So he just kind of like smiled and was like, Jaynee. And then he hugged me, and we went to class. So the first two classes.
Oh my God.
I know this is terrible. It's embarrassing.
Well, I don't
know if it's embarrassing.
Keep going.
Okay. So the first two classes I had him in it, and these other two girls that I clearly like befriended them as well. So clearly it was nice. Like I did have some friends in a class, and they were like helping me understand the schedule because I like was so confused about it. I don't remember the details of the schedule, but it like didn't make any sense to me. It had like numbers and letters and weird things. It kind of reminds me like when they switched our lunch schedule to like 4A and 4B and 5A like in high school, and I never really fucking understood that one either.
Worse, yeah.
We went from having 10 periods to 8 periods because we added letters. So it was probably like some of that bullshit.
Stupid. Someone got paid to make that decision. Ugh.
So in our second period, we had to keep moving our desk around. Like we were sitting in them, and we had to like drag them while we were sitting in them to follow the teacher. Instead of like just turning our heads, like we moved the desk. And the kid that I liked was in the front right corner, like by the door, and he wouldn't move his desk around for some reason. Like he refused to, which in my mind makes perfect logic sense because he's probably like, "Fuck, this is stupid. I can move my head."
Badass. And of course, you would be in love with like that kid.
Exactly. So, and I was very outgoing in this class. Like I was having like so much fun. Like I was having a good time. It like, gave me the vibes of that class where it's like all of your friends and like the teacher's good. So it's just like yes, like this is a good time.
Good ones.
So next I was trying to figure out where I go to my next class and what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I don't know what the class names were, but the classes, like also, like their names weren't normal. It wasn't like your everyday classes in this school. So I'm in the front corner of the one classroom and I was trying to figure out what books and shit I needed, and I just started like crying in my dream. And I was like, I shouldn't be here. I should be back at Henfield, where we graduated, where I know all the classrooms, I know where everything is, like it's my senior year, like this should just be fun and easy. And the teacher of that class was like, look, I know that this could be hard. Oh, hold on, my phone fell. So the teacher is like, look, I know this could be hard, but let me help you out here. Like, leave what you don't need in front of the classroom here. Take this bag with you until you figure out like your locker. She's like, you could use this little area as your locker. So apparently I was also having locker problems.
That sounds right.
And yep. And I was like so thankful, and I was like trying to hold back my tears. So as I leave the classroom, I was heading to class 32, and I high-fived the kid that I was into like at the door when I was leaving. But he took my hand and he like followed me. And he like hugged me outside in the hallway. But like we couldn't be together. Like there was just something like you could tell like something like in a movie, like why like those two people like couldn't like be together.
Man, this drama.
Like but I don't know like what it was.
It was just like understood.
Yes. So he just like he was just seemed like he was gonna be like just a close friend to me. So after that class, he also met me outside in the hallway, and I reached for his hand and he grabbed back, and then I stopped and was like, shit, like we cannot do this. I was like, I'm sorry, like I was just used to like doing that. And that was the end of the dream.
Oh man.
So like when I woke up, like I felt like heartbroken from this dream. Like I was like really like invested in this dream, like in this mystery guy. Like I like really liked him in my dream, and I woke up and like I just felt so weird, and I was like, oh, like that's not even real. Like
that's so incredible. I've had a dream like that maybe a month or two ago. And it was with somebody that like we went to school with, and I think it was a similar thing. No, it was on social media, like what triggered it, I think. This is why I don't go on social media. But yeah, you wake up and it's like for like a few days, and I kept like redreaming about it.
Oh.
I think because it was like weighing on, like I kept redreaming about that person, and like those emotions were still attached, and like
yes,
I do not have those feelings for that person, like, you know, in my day-to-day real life. I'm sure at one point I did when I was younger, you know.
Exactly.
But, oh my God, but it like really weighed heavy on me. And then you feel guilty. You're like a married woman, and it's like, oh my God.
It's like,
you know?
yeah, and then like it reminds me too of like when like you finish a really good book or like a good series, and you kind of like break up with those characters.
Yeah.
So like that's what like I'd be like throughout the day I was like, wait, what is wrong with me? Like why do I feel this way? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's literally because of that dream. Like I am heartbroken because I can't be with that kid in my dream. And I was just like, it is like I literally felt like I just went through a breakup, like almost like when I woke up.
And you can't even get real closure. It's not even fair.
No.
Like
I don't even know why we couldn't be together. Why couldn't we be together? It didn't seem like he wasn't into me.
Right.
But like it didn't seem like
no.
It was just like we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. So I asked like on Twitter, I did a poll if like people have been heartbroken from dreams, and a lot of people have. Like it's a common like thing that people have like fell in love with someone in their dreams, and I woke up and they're like, Oh God, like they're gone. So, dreamstop.com and dreamastyourmeaning.com are some of the ones that I went to for this stuff because I looked up about like falling in love in dreams. So, if you are, let me see. Okay. So if you're like lonely in your awake life and you do fall in love with someone in your dream, you're just trying to like fulfill a wish that you want, like that you want to be with somebody and you want that feeling. Which
Mm-hmm.
also just still doesn't help because you wake up heartbroken and lonely. Like what
Right.
the, like fucking A. Like a double
Yeah.
whammy. um if you're single and you're falling in love with a stranger, this could mean that you're about to meet somebody in your awake life.
Mm-hmm.
Um if you're falling in love with somebody that you like are in love with, that means like you just really care about the person and like you're like if you're in a relationship with them, that your relationship is really strong at that point. I know there's gonna be people coming at me being like, "Oh, is your relationship struggling?" Calm down,
Well,
yo.
I'm thinking like I'm actually going back through this, and I mean I have dreams about Camden, but he's usually like there with me or like going through something with like he's
Mm-hmm.
like a character in the dream. I don't think I've had a dream like of falling in love with him. So now I'm like, oh, I don't like that.
No, no. I mean, we all know how I am. Trevor's always cheating on me in my dreams. I'm never with him. Can never find him. Like, no.
On the other side of that coin though, I kind of think if I feel strongly about I often dream about things that are like weighing on my mind. So I kind of feel like if my relationship is like my marriage is like strong and like my solid foundation at that time, like that's not something I'm worrying about dreaming about.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, like that's not like weighing on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So that'll kind of tie into like what my next point is here or bullet is. So if you're in a relationship, it can be like not so good if you're like dreaming about like somebody else,
Right.
which I can see that like 100%.
Yeah. Just
Um, like either you might not be in love with your partner anymore. You might start like realizing that like you're falling out of love. You might just be like bored, like you're just stuck in the same routine. You're not feeling
mhm.
satisfied in your current relationship. And like I wouldn't take this as like a for sure sign to like run, break up with the person, get a divorce, and like did I just have a stroke because none of those words came out correctly?
No, I can see that though. Like some it might tell you that you need to like jazz it up a little bit.
Exactly. So like because every relationship has like their ups and downs, and it like so I don't think it's a bad idea to like step back and take a look at your relationship to see what's missing, to see what you want in it, if there is anything. Like just evaluate it for a
Mhm.
moment, and then communicate it with your partner, or spice it up and go on like a spontaneous night out. Like just break out of the rut. Like I think every long term relationship gets in a rut
Oh
at one
yeah.
point.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Depends how hectic the rest of life is, that's usually what happens.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I had this dream like a probably like a month ago, and that's when like our life started getting like very busy. So when I was like looking stuff up about it, I was like, okay, like I could totally see that just being like I never see my husband because that's how I
Mhm.
like how it was like and how it kind of still is right now. Like we just have very opposite schedules in life right now. Like it
Right.
happens.
Right.
Um and I don't like that. Like I'm a very like clingy person in my relationship. So I mean, so I feel like that could easily be why I dreamt about somebody, or it could definitely. I just feel like I just dreamt because of Ginny and Georgia, though.
Yeah, probably. I think it
uh,
goes yeah.
but I just think like it isn't a bad way to like stop and take a look to make sure like you are happy, or just evaluate. Like just pause and take a look at things, and then communicate and
Yeah,
do
I
what you
think
need to
a
do.
recurring self-reflection like that is good because it often shows like where your priorities may need to shift.
Yeah.
And make sure you just have an appropriate balance in life.
hmm
So I agree.
Um. And then the last little one, like a lot of people dream about falling in love with celebrities. It's super common to have this dream. And I think I just wanted to bring this part up because I thought it was funny, and I just think it's just a really just it's fun to just dream about your celebrity crush. You're just like it's nothing to worry about. Like it's just all fun and
I don't
games.
think
Like
I like ever dream about celebrities actually.
that is bullshit. You just brought up like Will Smith like a couple
Oh,
episodes
I did
ago,
dream about Will Smith.
and
Have I
who's
don't
the other
know.
one? The guy, the
Oh, The Office, Steve Carell. I
yeah,
dreamt
that
about.
one. That wasn't even who I was thinking about. You dream about celebrities a lot,
Well, it's
actually.
just funny, you know. You think you until you start doing this and keeping track, you don't realize it.
Who is the one judge on American Idol? You dreamt about him.
Adam?
No, that's The
Mm.
Voice.
Oh, American Idol? I don't even know. I don't
What
watch
the
that.
hell is his name? Hold on.
I'm glad you know who I dream about.
Here he is. What's his name? Why aren't they showing his name? Oh God, why are they listing all these? Lionel Richie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, too.
Well, I couldn't remember
I
who it was.
know,
I thought it was Lionel
but
Richie.
you brought that up, and yeah, exactly.
Well, now I probably know where it was from. I probably saw a commercial for American Idol or something.
Listen, I
Bingo.
had a I was gonna save this for like a snippets episode, but I'm just gonna do it now. I dreamt about Will Smith for like it was a real like hot minute dream. And I was like trying to tell you, I was like, dude, Hayne, Will Smith came out with this podcast and I'm so pissed off. I was like, we're gonna have to do something about it. It was called What the Fuck Did I Do Yesterday? And I was like, he totally jacked our name. I was like, we're never gonna make it. But then I so like I have any like room to compete with Will Smith anyways. So he also like I remember like trying to yell this to you at my old house like up the steps, and I had it there and I went to read it back to you. I was like, hey, listen to this name. And it was like, what the fuck? And like then the name was completely different. I was like, oh no, I'm just really stupid. Like it's nothing like ours. That
That's
was it.
funny.
Mhm.
Oh man, that's funny.
I think I just had a Will Smith dream though because you had a Will Smith dream, so now Will Smith is just
Probably.
one of my dream characters.
It could be worse.
No, I don't have. I like Will Smith. I'm cool with
Solid,
it. I mean, I was a little
solid
pissed
dream
off when I
character.
thought he just jacked our name, and he was like, "What the fuck did I do yesterday?" I'm like,
Was
"This is
he
gonna be
like
good. It's just gonna be
co-host?
about Will Smith's life, like what he did yesterday. This is what I did yesterday. It'll still be
I'd,
interesting."
I'd listen.
Same.
Ah, shit, that's funny.
Will Smith, if you go and do that, I think I should get a little bit of credit for that.
Will Smith, I love you.
Will
If
Smith.
you're listening.
Getting jiggy with it. Na, 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 na.
Man. Well, I don't have any dreams about Will Smith this time around.
I thought you were just gonna be like, I don't have any dreams. I was like, wow. Thank you all for listening. My co-host decided just to not show up today.
Yeah, screw you guys. Um, so my dream is features actually your child.
Oh.
So yes, so I had a dream that we were in. So my house was in this parking lot, like a home improvement store or like a department store parking lot, and I was living in a big like storage unit almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like a moving pod, I guess, and probably because my mom was moving.
Yeah.
So it was just like one room, but that's where I lived, and I had you, G, and Tara over for Christmas, and so we were doing like our gift exchange, like Secret Santas, and there were toys everywhere, and the kids were outside, so I guess Molly, I remember seeing. I think Liam must have been because I remember a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Liam must have been like on the bicycle outside because there were, and I think Carly's kids must have been in it because there were like 4 or 5 kids out in the parking lot, like riding their bicycles around, like you would see. Um, at, a party or something. And I got Molly this little doll, but it was like so annoying. And I felt so bad for getting you this doll. Like it was like a Barbie and it like made these noises. I was like, oh my God, like this is terrible. And you're just like, Jess, we can't do this. I was like, shit, okay, let me look for the receipt. I'll return it. So I was scrambling frantically through my phone to look for the receipt, I guess on through an email, and I couldn't find it. So we couldn't return the doll. So, but there were, I mean, mounds and piles of toys, like all for your guys' kids, I guess, that I got for them. And they weren't wrapped though. They were just all there. So apparently I'm just a toy hoarder in my storage unit. Maybe it was just a storage unit
I
for their
forgot that
toys.
you lived in a storage unit for a
Yeah.
second.
So it's like we're trying to have this like nice Christmas. It was a pretty spacey storage unit, but a storage unit nonetheless. So I had a TV. It was like an old school TV setup. And then like the walls were just like aligned with toys, like a toy room would be. And Tara and I were playing this video game on the TV. And it was like when we were trying to play it, it was like I went into the perspective of the character in the video game. So like I was driving a car and it was like I was driving the car in real life. So the video game that me and Tara were playing, we had to escape it from this basement and we were going down at one point like this dark alley and it was a very tight alley and we were driving a van and it was like the sides of the van were almost scraping against like the walls, the brick walls, like between two buildings. That's how tight it was. So we were outrunning. It looked like I got the vibe it was like zombies or something. So we were like outrunning these zombies, of course. Which I think Tara used to when she lived with me, used to dream talk about zombies. So
That
I might
sounds
be
about
wrong,
right.
Tara. You can
I don't know. That sounds very Tara-y.
So when we got through the alley and then we were kind of like stuck in this basement and then we weren't doing this part in a van, we had to go up this we had to like make our way up from the basement to escape. And it was almost like a tower that kind of circles around and around, like you would just keep walking like in circles and it would gradually go up. Almost like if you can picture a spiral staircase going up.
Like going up a lighthouse. That's what I
Yeah,
pictured.
yeah, like going up a lighthouse, but instead of it being a circular motion, it was a square. And
That'd be cool.
what was terrifying because it was really dark and it was like old cement block with like mold and like algae growing on it. So it was like a very old, almost like an old graveyard or like what you would like a haunted feel. So and it was just like never ending. So we just kept running and running and running and it was like a never ending like a maze almost, or never ending
That's
tube.
terrifying.
Well, it gets worse.
No.
With it was dark, when it was dark, it was like you're outrunning people in a haunted house. And when you look down, there were like faces in the ground, like a graveyard. So like I looked down at one point and it was like a girl's face who like looked like our age, but like it was like a zombie or like a corpse, but like in the ground. Um,
Oh.
yeah, so
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I know it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
I need to process that one.
So, and then we had to go back. We got to the top and then there was no way out. And it was like, no, you have to escape through the basement. There's a door down there.
You have to
So
go
we had to
back
go
on these
back
fucking
down.
faces. This is no.
So I had to go back down and I just had to like tell myself, don't look down because I knew that what was below me and I just had to keep going. So then finally Tara and I got to the bottom of the basement. And then we went through the door and I guess we escaped because I woke up.
I don't.
So it went from being this like really cool dream with like the kids getting these Christmas toys and they were, I mean, like colorful, like again, just like mounds of Christmas toys around us.
Yeah.
and like the kids like giggling and laughing, playing in like the parking lot. And it's like sad that I lived in a storage unit, but now that I think maybe I just rented it out, like maybe that was like our Airbnb for the day. But then it turned into this terrible ending. I mean, we escaped, so I guess that was good. Sorry, Tara.
Were there like other faces did you see, or did you just like recall that like one face?
Just that one face, and she was like our age. I remember that the
Ugh.
girl was our age. Like she was like, looked like a young woman.
I'm really stuck on this, and I really have this like picture in my head, but I'm
And I don't know
also
who the girl was.
picturing like this sounds like something that would happen in Sabrina the Teenage Witch series on Netflix.
Mhm.
Seems
Mhm.
like very like that ish that
Yeah.
would happen.
And
So
I loved that show, but it didn't occur around that time.
I know, but I don't know, like that's what I keep picturing. So I think that's why I'm not as like turned off by that at first. I had to process like what my mind went to, and that's what I
Mhm.
pictured. I was like, oh, it's okay. She's not like really dead. She's just like alive in the wall. Like that's just what happens in witchy things.
Yeah,
Why that? I'm like,
I have a
this
lot
has
of
nothing
dreams
to
like
do.
that though, about like I always say, it's like I feel like I'm at Hogwarts or like
Hmm.
witchy dreams. Um, because even the tight alley, I felt like it was in one of the Harry Potter movies. It's like that the bus, the there's a bus that Harry rides and it like
Yeah.
gets really skinny to fit between places, and
Hmm.
that's like what I felt like we were in.
Yeah. And I think that's why, like, if somebody else was telling me this dream, I probably would have got more, uh,
Like
like
freaked out.
afraid. Yeah, freaked
Yeah.
out by it. But since it was you, I was like, oh, well, it's just, I immediately went to, like, it's magic. Like, it's
I
not
didn't
real.
It's not even like I didn't get the vibe like she was like a core, like I didn't get like, oh my god, it's a dead body or something. I was more focused on like beating the level. So like escaping, you know?
Yeah.
It was like it was a video game, but it wasn't like me sitting there playing the game. I dream about video games a fair amount too, I guess.
Yeah.
A few times. There was only I think two other times.
I dreamt of a video game the other night. That's one dream that I'm going to talk about shortly. It was me and your brother, ironically.
That's funny.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so the one thing I looked up was toys because that was probably one of the most vivid parts of my dream, aside from that chick in the ground that I just like didn't really want to focus on.
Yeah.
So,
With returning of that of Molly's toy, I feel like that came from Molly's like first Christmas where
I
everybody got her a damn picnic basket. Like
was so excited about it.
it was like Molly was gonna turn 1 in January and it was her first Christmas. And I got her a picnic basket, but I found her like the 90s Fisher Price one.
Mm-hmm.
Then my mom got her one and she gave it to us like on Thanksgiving, went to see her. Scott and Steph sent her one. You sent her one. Like everyone just got Molly just had all the picnics. She's gonna love picnics when she's older. So I feel like that part of like I gotta return this, I feel
It
like it
could
came
be.
from that.
It could be. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, the toys though, so I looked at a few different sources and I just kind of combined them because I mean, it was like really all over the place. Toys can be incredibly significant, varying on like the color, like were they colored toys or was it black and white, which I don't think I really dream in black and white, but now I don't recall any black and white dreams.
Well, I just looked this up the other day about colors. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting you, but it keeps
Oh, no.
just reminding things. Um, that like older people dream in color or dream in black and white more because like their television and when they were kids and stuff was all black and white.
Oh, that's fascinating.
So they seem to dream. So like currently, like the statistics are like older people dream in black and white. Like clearly that'll
Wow.
change like as we get older because we grew up with colors.
Yeah. Huh.
Hmm.
That's really interesting. Um, so yeah, if you dream colorful about toys, then that's generally something, positive. Um, so I just kind of tried to pick the ones that apply to me, um, to interpret my own dream. And, mounds of toys, it could mean that you or somebody in your family or friends are having a baby. So, it's appropriate. You were there, obviously.
Hmm.
Um, and then, we're just at that point. I think like maternal instinct and whatnot. And I debate, do I want a baby right now? Is it the right time? Is it not? So I think that's probably where it was kind of like driving where the significance of my dream. And then others, it could vary from, you're expecting a positive change in your life. You're missing something, whether you're being like gifted a gift or whether you're the giver. So it really goes all over the place. So if you dream about toys or gifts, because I tried to initially focus on like Christmas gifts and then I just kind of narrowed it to toys.
Yeah.
But if you dream about that and then just try to pay attention to whether you're the giver or the receiver, just kind of like really dive into the context of it. Because I look at like when I interpret dreams, I just kind of look at more of the symbols. But now I'm realizing the more you interpret dreams, like I'm looking at a toy as a symbol, but a lot of times it's like the nature of what that symbol is doing in your dream.
Yes.
And I used to be pretty like critical of that, but now I'm like, the more I think about it, that's very relevant. And it's really all over the place. But I think about, in cultures where dream interpretation is, highly significant and respective, like I think Native American cultures and I think some, Chinese cultures, it seems like. And anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but it always seems like it's the nature of what's happening, so
yeah,
I'm trying to do better with that, but I like I said, I just tend to focus more on the symbol, and maybe that's why I'm critical of some of these interpretations.
Yeah, and I think too it's hard because like I feel like when we started this, we really like we just thought dreams are interesting, like which is
Right.
still what we think, but it opened up so much more that we didn't know like to even learn about, and it opened just a lot of doors.
Right. So I'm slowly shedding my cynical ways. Slowly.
That was great.
That is all. That is what I got. I'm sorry for buying your child an annoying toy, and I will not do that. Maybe.
No, it's all good. You can. That's what like aunts and uncles are supposed to do.
Right? Fair
Look at
enough.
this fun annoying toy. Definitely what I'm
Right, so then you can
getting.
just reciprocate when the time comes.
Exactly.
Hey, bitch, remember that
Exactly
time?
what it is.
Here's
Yep.
a drum set.
My aunt used to like give us like perfume. My mom gets
Oh
like such a
God.
migraine, like play perfume or
Yeah.
like play makeup, and I like spilled it all over the carpet one Christmas. Just what
Great.
you do. It's just what you do as an aunt.
That's too funny.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good. Well, sweet. That's what I got. That's what I got.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
And my child's yelling. Do you hear her?
Not barely, but
I
I do.
like don't
She
understand like
wants her
how like
toy. Wants her
what?
noisy toy. She wants the noisy toy I got her.
I don't understand like how we're hearing her. Like I don't know what like where we're hearing her from. But anyways. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter. There's another one, TikTok at WTF Did I Dream Last Night. And you can send us your dreams to our email at WTFDidIDreamLastNight@gmail.com. And if you like us, you could give us a little review on Apple Podcasts. We definitely appreciate it. And if you really like us, come see us on Patreon and get some bonus content and everything there. And support us.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you for listening.